Criminal defendants are often ordered to remain drug and alcohol free and to submit to screenings either as part of their pretrial release or as part of their probation. And because pretrial and probation can go on for a very long time, it's not uncommon for defendants to fail a screening. Now, if you fail a screening, your prosecutor or your probation officer can ask to have either your bail revoked or your probation violated, and even ask for detention for the probation violation. So it's important that you challenge or dispute the screening results if this happens to you. And it can be done. I believe there's a presumption that this is all very scientific and it's infallible, but it certainly is not. First, you should be aware of the test that you're taking. What are the procedures for administering the test? Were they followed? What is the error rate? What prescription and over-the-counter medicine can create false positives? You should be aware of all of this. Especially important is what is the acceptable level of alcohol or narcotics for these screenings. So with alcohol, the most commonly used screening is the SCRAM. SCRAM has an acceptable threshold of 0.02 alcohol per body weight. So you can be under that and not in violation or not have a positive result. Despite this, there are many instances of somebody having less than a 0.02 and the prosecutor or the probation officer still claiming it's a violation when in fact it's not. Very similar with drug tests is a cutoff level. In each type of drug has its own cutoff level that you need to exceed before you are in fact in violation of your pretrial release or your probation. So you need to make sure that the probation officer or the prosecutor is not claiming that you violated when in fact you didn't exceed the necessary level to constitute a violation. You should consider hiring an expert in drug analysis or toxicology to scrutinize everything. And these people, what they can do is write an affidavit or even give live testimony to the court, pointing out all the errors or the possible inconsistencies in the tests. These experts they're difficult to find and to get them to commit to helping you on your case, and they're also very expensive. If you're indigent, you can file a motion asking for funds to pay such an expert, and if you're not, then you have to pay out of pocket. And like I said, it's very expensive, but it could be worth it. And lastly, you need to realize that these are screenings. These are not conclusive results in many cases. And in fact, I'm working on one probation violation with drug screening paperwork. It came from a laboratory, it looks very scientific, it has numbers all over it, units of measurement. It says that my client has tested positive for a drug, but at the very bottom, in fact, the very last sentence of the paperwork says that further testing, more comprehensive testing needs to be done before the results can be used in judicial proceedings. So you should look over the paperwork, look over what the lab has sent to see if there's any disclaimers in it like that. And one last point, this is very much a numbers game. So if you failed one screening or maybe two screenings, you can usually contest the results and you'll have a fair chance of winning. If you have a very lenient prosecutor or probation officer and he waits until you have 5 or 10 positive drug or alcohol screening results, you're probably going to lose no matter how hard you can test the results. So I've written a blog post on this, and I'll put it in the description below.